Hello and welcome to Empire 2027 tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to explain everything about single player and multiplayer and all the options that the game offers. First I will explain about the game main screen. When the game starting you can select your language, and if you miss the screen this button appear language. By clicking on it you can select variety of languages that the game support. Our game supports more than 30 languages worldwide, translated by our players. This video will be in English, but we will be glad for help with the translation of the subtitles to other languages. If you are interested, please contact us and we will reward you. First, I will explain about the game settings. You have option to enable or disable the game sound. About the multiplayer notification, you have option in case you're playing to receive email if it's your turn, but we'll touch it later. Show countries names on the map, you can also enable and disable. It will show only big countries, and we did it because some of the countries are very small and we couldn't put the names. But if you enable it, you will see some of the country names on the map. The other option again is to select language. Player ID is unique in the game for every player, and by clicking on it you will receive your player ID. The player ID is needed for the extra options, if in case that you get tokens and open a new option in the game, or in case you play in the multiplayer. If you see your player ID as 0, click on it to receive your number. As you can see, I get my unique player ID. By clicking use token, it's refreshing the page and token status. For now, let's keep on this page and come back to the game settings, and after we will come back on this. I click again on the icon on the left and click game settings. Under the player ID you can see the game tutorial. This is the tutorial. You have option to go back to the main screen, and here you can see our other games that we have: Asia Empire, Europe Empire, Middle East Empire and Africa Empire, and of course this is the game Latin Empire. So let's explore first the single player mode. By clicking on it you can see at start only start new game option. If you started a game you can see below it continue game, and you can continue the game from the last point you stop it. If you finish the game, win or lose, you can see below it leaderboard, and you can see the score that you achieved. Let's click on start game, choose the difficulty. At start you can see easy and normal, and if you want extra options like hard, impossible, you can open it in the extra options. I choose easy. Next click choose country. In the country list you can select every country that in this continent, and specific to this game you can see a list of countries from Latin America. Let's say if you play Europe you can see countries from Europe, if you play Asia you can see countries from Asia, etc. The countries information we took from the internet. We collected it from CIA factbook, and we collected it from other global sources for military, relation, economy. Everything is based on today's data, and let's for this example I select Brazil and I play as the Prime Minister of Brazil. Click start to start the game. Clicking start can take a while, and it's depend on your phone hardware. More new phone, then more faster the game will load and will pass turns. If the phone is more older, it will take a while to load the data and to pass the turns. So be patient, please. When the game finally loads, you can see a welcome message, and you can click close to close it. Here you can see this is the main game map. You can see the map that of all the countries. you can see on your left the status of your countries and the option to pass turn. By clicking on the map, you can see a menu with all the options to manage your country. By clicking on the side, the menu will go on. By clicking on the left on the flag, it will show you the map in a larger mode, and if you click X, it will resume to the main map page. As you can see, every country have unique color, and you can see that some countries have only sea access and no border. After we will touch on it. Now let's explore little the left side. As you can see, the name of the country that you're leading, the land, how much land you own, how many civilians are now in your country, inhabitants, what is your money status currently for now, the budget for this month, how many millions you have in the bank, and the current date. It's the game start from January 2027, and how many rebels you have in the country. And the last, the option to pass turn, you need to click on it when you finish all your action in the game. The clicking on the pass turn will move the months forward, and the AI, the artificial intelligence, will make all the calculations for all the other countries that you didn't select. And based on your actions or based on other countries' actions, the artificial intelligence will make the calculation and will show you the results. Based on your action in the game, the AI will give you the leadership score. It means more favor you will be for your civilians, more conquest, more good decisions, you will have good score. If you took bad decisions and you lost civilians, you lost land, then your score will be low. Important to remember that rebels don't pay taxes, and more rebels you will have in the country can cause you to lose your leadership. Now let's go over the game menu. By clicking somewhere on the map, we'll pop up the game menu. The first option, game main screen, will take you to the map screen, this one. Buy arms will allow you to see your army status and to buy weapons from your industry or other countries or superpowers. Spy Center will allow you to send spies, satellites or UAV to other countries and to collect data, to send spies to sabotage, steal, and other many things that you can do with spies. Diplomacy will allow you to improve relations, to make alliances, to soar relations, and to declare war. Economy will allow you to see your economy status and with other countries and how much you profit every turn. Technology will allow you to improve your army, your economy, and many other things connected to your country. War Room will allow you to see the borders of your country, to see your army status, to send your army for missions or war, and of course to send ballistic missiles. News will appear every turn that pass, and every turn it's mean 1 month. You will see the news here. It will pop up after the turn finish. Ranks and power will allow you to see your rank and power of your country compared to other countries. Access screen will allow you to open new packages, new options in the game with tokens. Achievements will allow you to complete tasks and to win rewards. Game settings will take you to the main game screen and will allow you to change game settings like sound and other things that you want. Invite friends will allow you to invite friends to the game. Will pop up the game URL, your referral URL, and when you invite friends to the game, you will get rewarded with tokens. Take a screenshot from the game. You can take from any screen. Take a screenshot and post it where you want, Facebook, Twitter, and other places you want. save. This is new options. Save game will allow you to save the game. Currently now it will save the game status, and load game will load the game from the where you save it. Game tutorial, it's this one, what you see now, it's the game tutorial. Instructions page will show you the instruction page in your language, or the default will be in English. And we explain everything over there also. And also here you have option to pass the turn. So let's go over now on the buy arms, and we'll go to this screen and other screen after, step by step. Buy arms screen will show you your army status, how many troops, tanks, jet, etc. And also you can see how many reserves you have, and if your country is capable for atom, biological or chemical warheads. By clicking on military industry will allow you to buy arms from your local industry. For example, Astros artillery produced by Brazilian military industry. By clicking on it, click buy, you can select the quantity that you wish to buy, and of course it's all depend on your budget. You can see how many units your country own and how much cost per unit. Also in this screen you can see the military production by the industry every month. For the example, Brazil military industry produce 15,000 troops from the troops camps, 5 APCs, 5 artillery, 3 tanks, 3 anti-air missiles batteries, and 1 helicopter. Important to know that in the military industry screen you can see units that your military industry can produce. And if for the example we go down, you can see that I cannot produce submarines. But if I will improve the technology of submarines to the level that I can produce submarines, the option will appear here to buy. The same for aircraft carriers. They will appear here when you complete the technology level. Now let's click and come back to the buy arms main screen. You have options of weapon market, and this will allow you to buy weapons from superpowers and other countries worldwide. As you can see, it's all depend on the relation level with the country, what weapons they will allow you to buy from them. For example, from United States you have Brazil have good relations, and they will accept to sell some of the weapons. But with Europe, Brazil have very good relations, and they will accept to sell more type of weapons. So more good relations you will have with the country or the superpower, it means that they will sell you more advanced weapon. To improve the relations with the superpowers, the option appear in the technology screen. To improve relations with countries, it appear in the diplomacy screen. So let's, for the example, select United States and see what weapons they will allow to buy from them. You can see that the name of the weapons are real from the reality, and the prices are very close to the reality price of today. So in this option you can see United States, the best technology weapon they will allow to sell to Brazil, it's F-22 Raptor. If, for example, I will have excellent relations with the United States, they will allow to sell me submarines, ships, and even ballistic missiles. Another option that you have with the superpowers, it's the special weapon. It's usually a weapon that allow you to spy on countries and to get all the information needed. It's appear only if you have excellent relationship with the superpower. Another option that you have in the market, it's to buy. When you click buy, when you go down, it will allow you to buy the maximized unit with your budget. For example, Brazil can buy 3,000 tanks, and if we go back again for the market, and now I will select Europe, that I have with them a very good relations. As you can see, I can buy a class destroyer and class submarines that advance because of the better relations that I have with Europe. And now I will select Europe, that I have with them a very good relations. As you can see, I can buy a class destroyer and class submarines that advance because of the better relations that I have with Europe. Now let's come back to the main screen of Buy Arms and visit the black market. In the black market screen, the weapon prices are very high, and you should visit the black market only in case of very bad relations with the superpowers or other countries that in this case you cannot buy weapons, and the black market is for this, to buy weaponry in case of war and in case of sanctions or blockade on your country. The black market have two unique options. It's the Black Ops Mercenary. This will allow you to buy troops in case you lost many troops or in case you want to strengthen your army. Another option that the black market offer is in case that you research and completed the technology of ballistic missiles, the option to buy more ballistic missiles can appear here, and you can buy more ballistic missiles. Now, in the diplomacy screen, you can do a variety of actions, and it's all depend on your relationship level. Let's for the example with Argentina. My current relations are peace, and because we have peace, it's increased the country budget by 1% for us, for Brazil, and for Argentina. Clicking on the side will pop the options that I have as diplomacy. I can improve the relationship, and it costs $3 million, 3,000 million. I can break the peace. I can store relations. I can see what alliances Argentina have, what wars Argentina have, and what the status of relationship of Argentina with all the other countries. This is the options for example, for Argentina. If I go to Bahamas, you see that there are other options. Based on the relationship, I can declare war on Bahamas, improve relationship, store more the relationship, and the other options to see them. It's all depend on your relationship level to see what options appear for you. So all the time you can explore and to see what option to improve or to not improve. Example for Bolivia, excellent cooperation. If I click on it, I can sign alliance. If you have excellent cooperation with the country, the option to sign alliance will appear, and it costs 7,000 million. It's 7 milliard. And also options in case of you want to send them aid. You can send 5% from your budget or all your money to send to Bolivia. In case you open the extra screen, you open the send military aid, also the option to send military aid to Bolivia, it will appear here. Now let's for the example do alliance with Bolivia. By clicking on it, I do sign military alliance, and now I have alliance with Bolivia, and it's as you can see, it's benefit both countries. The budget of increased for both of us by 3%. In case of war, it's possible that Bolivia will come to help and declare war on my enemies, and it's all depend on Bolivia relationship with the opponent country. If Bolivia have bad relations with the opponent country, it's very good chance that they will start to soar the relationship with the country until they will have point that they will declare war. Or in case they have good relationship with the country that I'm at war with, so they will not attack. They will not soar relationship, and it will stay as is. So alliances only depend on the relationship level of other countries. Now let's do the opposite, and let's select for the example Argentina. If I click on Argentina, I can break the peace, and the option to solve relations will appear, and click again, the option to declare war will appear. If I declare war on Argentina, both countries will send troops to the border because we have border with each other, and the war will start. It's mean total war. Total war, all the troops go to the border and all the military units participate in the war. So let's declare war. Now we have state of war, and the options that will appear here, it's the option to ask ceasefire. It's cost 1,000 million, and there is chance of 33% that it will succeed. It means that 33% if it's Argentina will accept your ceasefire offer or reject it. And as you can see, there's not much options in case of war. Now let's explore the other option, economy. In the economy screen, you can see what it will be the next term budget. In this case, it's $32 million, and you can see what a trade status with each country and how much you profit from each country for your next term. If I go down, you can see civilian taxes for your country, how much you profit with your own country alone. In case of blockade or bad relationship with all the countries, this is what I will profit. Now let's explore the technology screen. In the technology screen, you have a variety of options that will allow you to improve your country status, from economy, military, spy, and relationship. All options to improve are here. In the technology screen, all cost money, and the price depend on the level of technology you research. For the example, education, I have level 3 from 99 levels that I can research. The current price for next level of technology costs $3,642,000,000. It means if I click buy here, I will have level 4 and you will see the next price for the next level. Now let's go over the technologies that we have in the technology screen. Education will increase the budget of your country by 1% for each level. So if you have, for example, education level 10, then you will have 10% improvement in your economy. Agriculture will improve your birth rate in your country by 0.1% for each investment. Brazil birth rate today is 14.4% yearly. It means that every month Brazil population increased by 248,000 civilians, and if I will increase and buy this technology, the birth rate will increase and Brazil will have more population. Energy technology will allow you to build aircraft carriers, lasers, and weather control weapons. Brazil today have aircraft carrier, and because of this they have level 1. Improving your country energy level will help you to build new weapons. For example, level 1 will allow you to build aircraft carriers and to deploy a jet far away for bombing missions. Level 2 will allow you to produce lasers, and in case of ballistic attack, 25% of the ballistic missiles, your laser will intercept them. Level 3 weather control weapons will appear in your war room as a new option. Important to know that lasers will work automatically, and weather control weapons, if you deploy them on enemy countries, nobody will know that you deployed it. Robotics option in the technology screen will allow you to build war robots, but to achieve it, to allow to build the war robots, you need to research 25 levels. When you complete the 25 levels of war robots technology, then you can go to local industry and the war robots will appear and you will be able to buy them. Space technology will allow you to build satellites and to use them in the spy room. But to achieve it, you need to research 15 levels and to complete it. Once you completed 15 levels of space technology, then you will allow to use the satellites in the spy room. Science technology will allow you to decrease the research cost for each technology by 1%. It means that now all the technologies in the technology screen are less 3%. And if I will research this, then 1% less it will be the cost for each technology. Industry will allow to decrease the cost of weapons that you want to buy by 1%. For example, if jet cost $100 million, and if I research this, and then less 1% will be the cost of the jets. The option to improve international relationship, it's only for superpowers. For this example, I can improve United States, Russia, Europe, China, or Japan if I choose this option. The cost is very high, but very beneficial in case you want to buy high technology weapons. So if I click here buy, for the example, I can select in what country I want to improve the relations. And let's see, for example, I improve with Europe. Okay, I improve the relation with Europe. And now if I go back again to buy arms, weapon market, and Europe, you can see below the special weapon that I speak about before. And if I will buy it, I will able to see economy levels of the target country. This is, for example, for European Union only. So let's come back again for the technology. And as you see, there is United States, Russia, Europe, China, and Japan. But for every Europe 2027 game, there are different superpowers. So you will see here a different list. Welfare technology will allow you to decrease the number of rebels in your country by 5% for each level of technology. Banks have only one level, and if you research it, your country budget will increase by 10%. Military industry will allow you to train troops and to produce weapons with no cost. For the example, Brazil have 15 levels of military industry, and this will allow automatic to get every turn 15,000 troops, APCs, etc. You can see this option here, and also if you remember from the buy arms local industry, you can see it over there also. Sea invasion power allow you for each level to deploy more troops in case you want to invade far lands. More levels you have in the sea invasion power, then more troops and units you can deploy in far land. The option Sea Invasion will appear in War Room in case you research at least one level. And to be careful with this option, because if you invade far land countries that are very big and have very big army, then most chances that your invasion will be failed and most troops and units will be lost. So be careful with it. The options train troops and to improve other weaponry technology, each level will multiply the power of the units. For the example, if I have trained troops level 3 and I have 100 troops, it means that I have 300 troop power. The same for APC, tanks, etc. So more levels of technology you have, then more power your units have. So it's the same for all the kind of weaponry. It's the same for fighting robots, but in this case you can see that I have 0 level, and because I didn't research yet robotics. When I will complete robotics technology, then I will have the option to improve the fighting robots technology. So let's continue, and I will explain more about other technologies. Aircraft carriers technology, for each level you can deploy more 10 jets for distant bombing missions. If for the example you have aircraft carrier technology level 3. It means that you can deploy 30 jets on each aircraft carrier you have. You need to remember that aircraft carriers allow you to bomb far countries. Espionage technology will allow you to improve your spy's capabilities to succeed in missions. More levels you have, then more chance your spy will succeed. Counter-espionage measures allow you to protect your country from spies' activities, and more levels you have here, it means that less chance spies will succeed on your country. Ballistic missiles will allow you to produce ballistic missiles for each level. For the example, I buy now 1 level. So you can see that every turn that pass, I will get 1 ballistic missile. More levels I have, if I buy here, then more ballistic missiles I will produce every month that pass. The same for anti-ballistics missiles. More levels I have, then more I produce every month. Important to know that anti-ballistic missiles working automatically in case of ballistic attack on your country. More anti-ballistic missiles you have, then more chance your country will be protected from ballistic attacks. I will buy here 2 levels. This way I will produce 2 anti-ballistic missiles every turn that pass. The last 3 options in technology are atom, biological, and chemical. These 3 options will allow you to arm your ballistic missiles with warheads, specific warheads. For example, if I research atom and complete the research, 50 levels of atom, then the option to arm the ballistic missiles with atom warhead will appear. So as you can see, Brazil, for the example, have 15 levels of atom technology. They need more 35 levels to complete the options to arm ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. The same for biological and chemical. Now let's explore the war room. In the war room, there are 3 options. First of all, the first option that appears for you is the option to attack. Attack type, you click on it, and you can see the options that appear for the attack: fight rebels, sea invasion, bombing with using jets. Select a country, and there are options to send forces to border. Click on it, and you can see the new options will appear to send forces to border or to bring back forces. The same for ballistic. If I click ballistic, I will have the option to arm what type of warhead to what country and the quantity of ballistic missiles that I want to fire. Let's come back again to send forces. In the war room main screen, you can see your army status, and it's important to remember that you can commit 1 military action per country every turn. It means that if now Brazil will send a bombing run on Argentina, after I cannot do another action, and when I will pass turn, I will have the option to do another action. So when the turn will pass, you will have option to do new military actions. But you can do the following. You can go to send forces and send forces to the country you are at war with. For my example, it's Argentina. I send 50% of my forces to the border. As you can see, I move directly to the border room. Now let's go back again to the attack room, and I select attack, and I can send bomb military targets of Argentina. So this I can send or retrieve forces from the border. It's not included as military action, but military action for bombing or sending ballistic missiles, this is recorded and you can do 1 action. Sending and receiving and redrawing forces from the border, it's not included as action. Now let's send the bombing military targets of Argentina. Fighter jets from Brazil bombed military targets near the capital, Buenos Aires. The attack ended successfully. If I go below, you can see the result of the attack. Sending an attack and the attack results depend on many parameters. The quantity, the technology level, the formation, for example, a lot of jets, a lot of helicopters, a lot of ships, a lot of landmass power, for example, tanks, fighting robots. All this influence the battle, and it's important to balance all your power equally. Now, to return to the war room, click on the right. If you want the pop-up the menu, click on the left. Another option in the war room is to see the borders and the military status on the borders. As you can see, Brazil have many borders. Most of the borders don't have troops, because troops will go to the borders only in case of war. What will happen? Your troops will split based on your borders numbers. Let's, for the example, Brazil have 1 million troops, and 10 borders, so only 100,000 troops will go to the border in case of war. So you will need to be careful. In case of multiple fronts, your army will be stretched to many fronts. It means that, for example, if Brazil now will have war with Argentina and Colombia and others, so the army will split accordingly. But you can arrange the forces in the border. And what it means? If you have multiple fronts, you can send specific number of percentage of your forces to one border. You can arrange the borders with no limits of actions. For the example, I will send 10% of the forces to French Guinea. So you can see that from the available forces, 10% were sent to the border. In case that there is no war with the country, next turn the forces will return automatically to the bases. This is the default situation, and it's the best situation for you, because in case of war, the best that the troops will split to the front and not will be at the other borders that there is no action. So let's come back again to the war room attack mode, and I want to show you that there is option to fight the rebels. In case that you conquer a country, a part of the population will become rebels, and rebels don't pay taxes, and in case that you have a lot of rebels, it can be a problem for your country, because it can be a coup and you can lose the game. There are multiple ways to fight the rebels. One of them is in the war room, other it's the technology welfare, and the last one it's using spies to infiltrate rebels. Fighting rebels in the war room, it's no action limit, and you can fight multiple times, and each time part of your troops going to fight the rebels, they can success rate depend on the troops technology, and also depend the quantity of the rebels and the number of troops that going to war with them. For us, if I click now choose to fight the rebels, you don't need to select the choose country, and you just send the attack. In case of Brazil now, we don't have rebels, so the option is not available. Another option in the war room is the start sea invasion. In case you invested in sea power technology, you will have this option, and you can invade far lands or islands, and it means that your part of your forces, depending on the technology level, will be deployed and start to invade far countries. If you start invasion, next turn the troops will be deployed and war will start. If you want to stop the invasion, the option is here. You just click stop invasion and the invasion will stop. You can invade by sea only one country every time, so be careful in case of you send invasion and you have a front at home at the border. The best is to not to do multiple fronts and one front at a time, but the game will allow to multiple fronts, and we tried the best to make the game as close to reality. We put many other military actions, and you can find them in the extra screen to open them with tokens. This is the basic attack options, and of course you have the total war option, that in case you declare war, the troops automatically go to the border and invade. You can see the action when you pass the turn. You go to the war news and you will see the war action results. It's for every action, military actions that you will do, you will see the actions also in the war news. And last, we try to make this game as close to reality. But we have a message to everyone, to all who play our games. War we make in the internet. In reality, we make peace. So this is our message, and you can see it everywhere in the game. War we will make in the internet, in reality we'll make peace. Please help us to promote this message everywhere. Thank you. Now, let's go over other things in the menu. We have the news. Because it's the first turn, you will not see news in the common news, but you can see actions that you did. For example, in the relation news, you can see actions that I did now. In the spy news, you cannot see news because it's only news about your country. It's actions made by other country on your country, and you will see, in case you pass turn, if other countries send spies to your country and did some spy missions. In the war news, you will see action of war made by you or other countries, but in this case it's first turn. You will see only your action, and it's recorded here. If you will see next turn that we pass, because we started the total war with Argentina, you will see the war results. And of course here you can see also the game instructions. Let's go back to the game end screen. The next option is rank and power, but you will able to see it only after you pass turn, because the system need to record all the data and information of other countries. Let's check now the extra screen. The extra screen contains all the new options that you can add to the game, and as a player, each player have unique ID. Your unique ID follow you also in new devices if you change phone. Currently now I have zero tokens, and to refresh the token status you click use tokens. It's just load the tokens data from the server. You have two options also: free tokens, to get free tokens, and to buy tokens. Let's explore each option. The free tokens, we allow here to get unlimited free tokens by supporting us. The options to join to our community, to invite and earn bonuses for each player that you invite to the game. By clicking here you get referral URL, and you can set it to family and friends, and each player that you enter to the game with your URL and download it and play, you will get 200 tokens. Important to know that the player that you invite must play in the game and not just download it. You need to play at least one game and visit all the game screens. Another option is to get free tokens. It's to watch daily 5 advertisings, and you get for each one 20 tokens. So it can be like 100 tokens daily that you get here. And the last option, it's offer wall. You do here a task, and you complete them. When completing them, you get the tokens. So this is the free token option, and by clicking here, it will allow you to buy tokens. Important to know that our games are free to play. However, in order to pay for the servers, future development, and effective support, we need your help. By buying packages, you help us to cover these costs. Your support important to us to continue developing. Thank you from all our team. Every option that you see here you can unlock with tokens. By clicking on the icon on the left, it will pop explanation. For example, above Air Base, it's a new spy mission that will allow you to sabotage enemy jets. By clicking somewhere on the screen, it will remove the pop-up, and you can see the type of improvement that it will add in the game and the token cost. Other options to get free tokens, it's using the achievements. You will need to have Google Play services installed on your phone, and then when you click here, the achievements will pop and you can select which achievement you want to complete. Once you complete it, you just need to enter the screen and you will get the rewards of free tokens. The game settings will take you to the main screen, and there you can enter to the game settings and change your language, sound, and other options. Invite friends, it's the same as referral URL. It's will pop the option to share the game with your friends and family, and important to note that every friend or family that come from your link and download the game, you will be rewarded 200 tokens. It's important but that the friends and family will understand again and play at least one game and visit all screens. This way the system know that it's real visitor, real download, and will reward you. The text screenshots can it's for every screen in the game. You just click on it and the system will take a screenshot of your game and will allow you to post it in social media and other places that you want. Save game will allow you to save the game from the specific position where you are, specific time, and the load option will allow you to load the game from the specific time you save it. So it's very important to know how to use it when you are in an advanced place in the game. Better to save every few turns, and in case you did mistakes or in case you lost, just load the game and you can continue from the last position. This is our game tutorial. We tried the best to explain all what is inside the game, and the game instructions are more details than this game tutorial. You have a lot of information there that we wrote and for also translated to many other languages by our players. So I click now pass turn, and we'll move the game once. You can see after the news based on your actions what happened in the game. Important to know a few things. First, the passing turn can take a while, and it's all depend on your device hardware, but also it's depend in the number of actions of war spies and that the AI taking depend on your actions or depend on other AI actions. So it's all depend in many variables, and just be patient until the turn will pass. After the turn pass, sometimes you will pop advertising. The ads help us to keep the game free for you, and it's help us to pay for the servers and pay for support. Also, it's help us for future developing of the game. So please be patient, and thank you for watching the ads and for your support. Now let's go over the news. As you can see, the first thing that pop up is the common news. In here you can see the AI, what technology or what units they buy. We try to do that the artificial intelligence will be as smart as possible, and all the time we improve it. In case of war, the AI will decide to buy more units depend on what he needs on the battle, and of course he will send more spy actions and war actions on your country depend on what you have and what he have. So in this case you just need to check the news, see what other countries buy, and to adapt accordingly. If I click on the side, you can see that there are a variety of news. Economy news, it's mean technology and units that the AI buy. Relation news, if I click on it, you can see a variety of relations between countries, and sometimes here you can get offers from the AI for alliances, for improved relations and trade. So just keep up to watch here, And if you have option to improve relations, just click on it and agree or refuse to the offer. Spy news will show you only actions on your country sent by other countries. And let's go again for the war news, and you see that Brazil conquered the country Argentina, and you can see the losses here, and all depend on the battle system and the calculation that they did behind. Brazil withdraw forces from the border of French Guiana. If you remember, we sent forces to the border of French Guiana, and because there was no war, the system automatically withdraw the forces back to the bases. Now let's little go about the battle system and how it's working. First of all, you need to know that it's all depend on your army size and technology. Can army size small with high technology can win very big army with low technology. Also, it's depend on how many borders the country have, and in case of a war, the army split between the borders, and only specific units based on the number of borders sent to the war or sent to the border. So you need to know this. In this case, for example, Brazil conquered Argentina after one turn, because Argentina start with very small army, and the reserves don't have enough time to recruit and to join to the war. So because of this, the action of war based on active duty troops. You must have a lot of active troops to prevent from invasion and conquer after 1 month. Also important to know that in case of war between countries can be a blockade, and in this case you will not be able to buy weapons from countries or superpowers, or even from the local industry, because of a blockade on resources. So be careful and build for yourself a very strong navy to prevent blockade. Also can be blockade in case you used forbidden weapons on civilians. In this case, superpowers and other countries will lower the relationship with your country until the point you cannot buy weapons from them. So you need to be careful also for using forbidden weapons in the game if you are not strong enough, because in this case you will not have option to buy more arms until you improve the relationship with the superpowers or other countries. Also important to know that in case you use forbidden weapons, countries in the game will lower the relationship with your country until to the point that they will declare war on you. So as you can see, we try to feed the AI and the game brain as much close to the reality. Actions that you do will have counter actions inside the game. So let's come back to the game main screen, and as you can see in the map, the color change for Brazil controlling now Argentina. You can see also that in the budget that the money increased, and I have budget for this month to spend. The months also go 1 month forward, and I have a lot of rebels because I conquered Argentina. If I click on the economy, you can see that Argentina is conquered and controlled by Brazil, and that the civilian taxes increased by little bit, and it's because I have a lot of rebels because I conquered Argentina. So let's explore a little bit. After moving the turn, I go to diplomacy, and you can see that the country controlled by Brazil, and here I have option to give independence to Argentina. So I click give independence, and you can see that now Brazil gave independence to Argentina. And if I click on again on diplomacy, as a default, after giving independence, the country have alliance, and in the map you see the country back to be self-independent, and they will have their own actions moving the turn. So that's it for now for the single player.